Good morning, my loves. I noticed that today feels different than my other days. And I'm giving myself a lot of permission to just move slowly about the cabin. So feel free to take my time for this episode and really be present with my experience while simultaneously sharing it. And I've got some hot electrolyte water here with some Himalayan salt in it, trying to stay hydrated. Every year that's like a resolution of mine or a New Year's goal or whatever, phrase I try to put over the top of it to make it more achievable is like hydration. It's always hydration. My body is like, girl, will you just drink a glass of water? I'm like, oh, right. Yes, thank you. Which is why I'm so glad that I have such a better relationship with my body. And I love how my body just cheered me up with that. That was good. That was really good. Thank you. I'm realizing, how important it is to have joy with the grief. Like how to allow myself to have good days, which was my story for a long time. Like, I don't deserve good days. I deserve to suffer. I deserve to sit in the conflict of this experience so I can really, truly align myself for a better future. And that's the truth. I mean, it sounds a little bit brutal, but also like I'm a blade of truth kind of woman. So I really appreciate just like when it comes in hot like that and I'm like, you're not wrong, Spirit. You're not wrong for doing that, for asking that of me, or for revealing that to me, because I need to look at it. And I think it would be so easy to be one of the women in my mind, right, that just doesn't have to. And it just like life moves on and it's just Tuesday and here we go, like, gosh, that sounds so easy. And yet that's just not my experience, the truth of my experience. My experience is slow. It's asking a lot of me because it's an inversion. This pregnancy experience, this postpartum experience, the wake of my decisions. It's an inversion. It's literally being inside out. And some days I crumble under that pressure, honestly, and they are just the hardest days. Which for me, as a naturally radiant being, when I'm like feeling gray, that's torture. That's absolute torture because I know life is so much more beautiful than the perfect middle gray. Unless, of course, you're a deep fan of Ansel Adams, then you're going to love the perfect middle gray. You're like, yeah, that's brilliant. The contrasts are amazing. Love the shadows. Shout out to my Ansel Adams fans. So I know life is this vibrant being, this like creature of infinity, and she's always shape-shifting and she's always adapting, and storms come and go and volcanoes pop off in the background, and it's like she's just doing her thing and receiving and responding. I think that's the beauty of like what I and my current reality are looking at femininity as, the ability to receive and respond accordingly. There's a pulse that the feminine is connected to that just cannot be denied. And I get why certain systems feel that pulse is threatening, because it would be. It would be threatening if they weren't so terrified to work with that energy. Like, come on, co-creation, come on, collaboration, come on, society. Like, we can do this as a unit. We could actually do this as a unit if we had the ability to see each other's gifts, and rather than see the flaws and pick up on those as vulnerabilities, be like, wow, I have something to offer that. I have something to gift that part of you that is looking to strengthen that part of you. And vice versa. Like, we would be so powerful. We would be so powerful. And so I'm sitting in this pulse. I'm sitting in the pulse of motherhood. And the pulse and the experience, this really deeply somatic experience of having had a glimpse into another timeline, another reality where I chose motherhood. And that vision might also be the future, right? Like I'm deep enough in the spiritual world to understand, like, that could have been my experience then. I could have been looking at that when I looked through that gate, or that still could have been me in the future, right? There's a projection that's me in the immediate now. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this coming up too, because there's just so much more to this story. And it's interesting because yesterday was the anniversary of our baby's passing. And it was a hard weekend. It was a really hard weekend. I hosted an event. This wasn't the hard part, even though I was exhausted. I hosted an event, Breakfast at Tiffany's, here in Mexico City. It was my second one, and it was amazing. The first one was amazing. The second one was amazing. And, Mexico City, there's 24 million people here, and I am finally launching this concept that has been on my heart for years, like at least 5 or 6 years. Like, the second God gave it to me, I was like, I swear to you, I will create that. I am making that happen. That is mine. Thank you so much. And I was so grateful to receive that. And the culmination of it in my mind it's just such a vibe. And the 3D manifestation of it is such a vibe. And it's a slow burn. And so I love it. It's like these first couple events are maybe 20 people tops, right? Small. But people are dancing, people are dressed up, they look sexy, the music is amazing, the cocktails are great, it is such a vibe. And so that event was great because that brought spirit into my life, some joy, like, I can grieve and I can also be joyful. This is a paradox that I'm just like so deep in right now. I can grieve and I can experience joy. And I'm allowed to experience both, and I can accept both, and I can love both, and have gratitude and honor and appreciation for both. So I had breakfast at Tiffany's, and that was amazing. And after, I just came crashing down, absolutely crashing down. And, my partner and I had plans Sunday morning, get up early, go bring the baby some flowers, because we have a little burial spot here for her. Bring her some flowers, and the morning was just rough. It was a really, really hard morning. And in a separate episode, I think it's important to talk about, like, the challenges that couples go through in this experience. Because it's hard. It's unbearably hard. And as a woman, it's really challenging when you find yourself in a space where you feel alone in that. And that might be that you're actually alone. That might be that it's tough for your partner to, like, truly understand your experience and so struggle to hold it. There could be various reasons why that is so. There is no end to the well of grief. And so even today, I'm like coming out of the wake of her anniversary and feeling empty, feeling really empty. And on one hand, that emptiness feels like a void. It really, truly does. It's like, dang, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling how something was there, and I was connected to something that was there, and we had this experience together, and we went on this journey together, and that thing is not there anymore in the same capacity. So it's easy for it to feel like a void, and I feel like the enemy really wants to like get me there and force me to stay there, you know, like the ultimate punisher. And in the season of my life where I'm like really connecting to the energy of God, the essence of like the father figure, the provider, I'm like reading my Bible more, which has a ton of wisdom. I'm like, wow, it really is a living word. It really is a living word. It's so, the parallels are really uncanny, honestly. And it teaches me a lot about life. Like how I relate versus how I could relate, and why there's value in that. And so I was feeling void. And now that I'm in my, Bible study, this has been the year of contemplation. Contemplation. I am constantly thinking and contemplating the thoughts, feelings, stories that come in. I'm a very self-aware person. I mean, I definitely have my blind spots, but all things considered, I'm very self-aware. I can see my thoughts come in. I can name them. I know what part it is. Like, I've done a lot of work. I've been in a ton of trainings. I've invested a ton in my education. And so I can sit there. I can be like, yep, okay, you, yeah, totally. Yeah, oh, babe, I feel you. Yeah. Whew, that was deep, huh? And I'm just moving. I'm just shifting through all of them like no problemo. And I'm really choosing to witness that part of me that wants to view this experience as a void, as something was there and now it is no longer, into this is a ready space. What do you want to plant inside of it? Such a different energetic signature. One is loss and this dark energy, like not dark as negative, but just like darkness, like the dark womb, right? There's loss, there's void. As opposed to we're tending this for you. We're literally I'm tending my own garden right now so that it is very prepared for the seeds of my desires. And more than my desires, it's like my values. What does that look like in my business? What does that look like in my partnership? What does that look like in how I relate to my community? To how I speak for myself, show up for myself, feel seen and held, all the things. And there's seasons in my life where I do this regardless. There's like a big change on the horizon, and it causes me to reflect on the last year of my life or the last season of my life. Or, I've had moments where I'll be doing something and a flash of an old memory that I have not thought of in decades will appear. And then it takes me on this whole journey of how my life has changed since then. And it's always so interesting to be, watching my own cinema play out in my mind. It's like, oh, yeah, wow, perspective. Or when you go back and you travel back home and you see people that you used to know, like, oof, lots of perspective there. So I sit in the duality of, on one hand, feeling the void and feeling the loss and the desire to grieve that, and also sitting in the potential of how I want to shift gears and change things so I can be more prepared, have a more solid foundation, right? More fertilized soil. And it's an interesting space to be in. And if you've ever been in it, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's this like floating through space. I'm floating through space, and there's not really anything necessarily to hold on to, and I'm not really moving very fast. I'm just there, kind of floating around, scoping things out. It's vast, and it is dark. It is kind of like the dark womb space, right? It's devoid of much light. There is light in there. There's sparks in there, And so I explore that and continue to ask myself what I need. And I wrote a letter to Lentil yesterday as part of my anniversary to her. And I really brought her into my day. I realized for the last year I'd been grieving a lot, and I was really in the deep thick of it. And then I would have my wave, and then I would just like get back to work and get back to doing my thing, because that's just who I am. And so I realized that because there's just so much sadness there, undeniable sadness, I'm still sad. Like I'm definitely not over it. I'm still sad. That I don't always want my memories with her to be the negative images that are burned into my brain. I don't want to sit in that. I don't want to live in that. I want to create new memories with her. And so yesterday I brought her down to my morning prayer. I put her on my altar, which I was surprised I hadn't put her there before, honestly. She was on the upstairs altar, but not on the downstairs altar. So it felt really beautiful to like bring her into my prayers and to speak with her and speak with God and just kind of have this just like bring her more into my reality. Like choose loving her over feeling shame at myself. And that felt really big for me. That felt like a big shift. And I'm still learning how to embody. And so I brought her into my prayer. I decided yesterday, I was like, I'm going to bake cookies. We're going to bake cookies together. I'm like talking to her while I'm making the dough. And I notice these moments where I'm kind of in and out of celebration. There's like a little numbness there in pockets of the day. And then I would kind of catch myself. I'm like, oh, yeah, girl, let's get back to it. And so I would go in and out. And it was just such a strange day. Energetically, it was such a strange day. It just felt like there was this looming energy there. And part of what I wanted to do was to write her a letter. And I'm actually going to read it. I was debating if I was going to or not. I was like, it's here in case. But why not? And so I have it dated 9/29/25, September 29th. My dearest Lentil, today marks 1 year since you became an angel. I think of you all the time, wondering what our life would be like. I've spent so much of this year grieving that it was hard to feel anything other than sadness. I miss you all the time. I felt quite disassociated today, like I was lagging behind or missing something. You. I did enjoy our prayer time together, reflecting on the Bible and bringing you into that practice. That is the kind of foundation I want for us, solid in God. We both deserve that. I also loved making cookies, though I'll admit I wasn't as present with you as I wanted to be. Do you think I am too hard on myself? I just want to create the best life for you, one where you feel honored and deeply supported. Can you feel that? I hear you tell me to love myself more, be more forgiving. And I'm working on that. Life can feel so tough sometimes, baby girl. I want what is best for you. What is best for your soul, your spirit. Your father and I are working through our own things too. Trying to be better to one another, more accepting and loving. It's been a hard year for us, baby. But we are choosing to be optimistic and holding one another in love. I hope you could feel how much I love you. One day, maybe the pain won't be so heavy and these letters will be filled with joy. I'm sorry if this one isn't quite that. My vision for this year is to take you everywhere with me, to bring you into my everyday, to live as if you are here with me. We'll go on walks, we'll visit museums, we'll lay in the park. I don't want a moment where you aren't a part of it. I will live for the joy of you, build this new life with you in it. All three of us, 4, including Miko. Meow, that's our cat. Well, our adopted cat. I'll give my life and be of service for you. Be a steward for you, hold you, love you, honor you. And I know that one day we will be reunited. Together I will hold you in my arms, praising God for your return. Until then, I will do everything in my power to protect you, to love you with gratitude for changing my life, for choosing me, and for choosing us. I pray that I make you so proud. My baby angel, I love you. Always, Tiffany. It's interesting, even as I read it, I can see so clearly where I'm at and my healing journey. And it's interesting because as I get emotional, grief has this thing where it's like we in our ego just want to be over it as fast as possible. Or avoid it altogether, right? I don't have time for grief. I don't have time to be sad because when I'm sad, I don't know how long that will last. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 3 days. It feels infinite. And in these moments, I remind myself to breathe. I'll put my hands on my throat and just kind of stroke my throat because it gets tight. I rub my heart. I am right here with you. I am right here. I am right here with you. I still feel so much. And in a linear timeline, it's like, that was a year ago. That was 365 days ago. It's fine. You should just do the thing. And that just isn't real for me. I get emotional over it. And you can even hear it in my voice. I hear it in my own voice. It's like, yeah, she's a little down this episode. She's feeling a bit heavy. You can hear it. I hear it. The way that I'm talking, the way that I'm communicating, even in the way in my mind, I'm like, should I even post this episode? Episode seems absolute shit. Nobody's gonna want to be in that space with you. Bring love and light. Bring playful energy. And that's exactly why I'm doing the opposite. It's like I'm all of that. And it can change the flip of a switch. No doubt. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it lingers. Maybe sometimes it's here for the long haul. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm grateful for my practices. Like, oh, God bless, amen. Like, I'm grateful for my morning prayer. I'm grateful for my creation ideation days because they keep me in my creativity and keep me moving, you know, whether the music just moves my body and I get to actually move stuck and stagnant energy from the depths of my bones to just like, whew, girl, let's get a bit more fluid here. We're feeling a bit rigid. That doesn't help anybody. Keeps me moving, it keeps me grooving, it keeps me lighter in my spirit. Sometimes emotional waves come and I'm grateful for it, and I just let that happen and I ride that wave, and then I come back to myself in tenderness. I hold myself, I massage my legs, my feet, you know, bake cookies, like make mac and cheese, like I just, whatever I need in that moment to just bring tenderness and compassion to my pain, I give it. I was telling David the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I figured out my pattern for when I order Uber Eats. He said, okay. And I said, when I'm celebrating, when I have had like a really big day and I'm just tired and I have decision fatigue, or when I'm sad. Like I always order Uber Eats when I'm sad. I want comfort food. And he was like, well, I could have told you that. Yesterday I was sad and I definitely ordered mac and cheese. I was like, oh, I just need to feel the heaviness in my body is to match my emotional heaviness. So I felt like recalibrated, if that makes sense. And so my practices of like, it's little by little, right? And this process is reminding me like, it really is moment by moment. And I've done a lot of work this year to spend more time in my feminine energy. So I'm still doing a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm a manifesting generator. Like I'm out here creating a storm all the time. And it's been less directive because I feel I have to, or like less rooted in scarcity. It's been very much like I want to create based upon what's alive in me, based upon what excites me, based upon what the women in my field are like looking for and experiencing, wanting to experience. I love that. And it allows me as well. During this time, I've had clients, I've done events. Those allow me to channel that energy into something that is beyond me. You know, I'm sharing my story right now, and the second it reaches your ears, it becomes our story in some capacity, especially if you've invested your time, attention, and energy into it, right? It's now our story. And so those things have been my saving grace. They've really been my saving grace. And yeah, needing to continue to honor this experience that grief takes as long as it takes. And like that gets to be okay. This idea, this concept that I should be over it already, that I should be more connected to my body by now, that I teach this stuff. Like, come on, girl, you should have been able to bounce back. Like, let's go. And I do teach this stuff, and I do offer those breakthroughs. And I've had amazing clients this whole time that have just had their minds absolutely blown by the work that we've done. And like a process is a process. And something that I really committed to this year was not bypassing that process and not trying to cover it up with busyness. Really not trying to cover it up. And it's been an interesting thing to navigate grief with building a business, building community, hosting events, teaching master classes, and I've slayed at it. Don't get me wrong. I've done a really good job. This year in terms of events and community building has been amazing. it's been so good. I love what we're creating here. And yeah, but then this like grief woven into it. This specific type of grief. And so today is the day after. And I still feel a bit of that cloudy emptiness. And I hear the Lord so clearly just be like, what do you want to put in there? What would you like to create? Like, we're right here. We're all right here, and we all want your support, and we want you to feel loved, and we want you to trust. It's imperative, essential that you trust. Because nothing is guaranteed anyway, so you might as well just put your faith in it, you know? Isn't that the truth? Thank you for that. So I'm grateful, and I'm actually grateful this conversation that we're having has happened because I do want to move my body. Today is an ideation day, and I was just feeling myself, and I was like, I don't really know if I'm going to get out there, y'all. I'm too sad. Or I'm too disconnected. Not even that I feel sad. I don't feel sad today. I feel disconnected. That's a much better word to describe my experience. I'm feeling disconnected. But having this conversation with you and reading this letter and just hearing myself, and not just hearing myself, but receiving myself in this moment has been very revealing to me. And I just want to say to myself, like, I love you, girl. I fucking love you. You're right where you need to be. And we're all rooting for you. Like, you're so powerful. Like, I can't wait to see what comes out of this entire experience because it's rich. Well, with that inner monologue, I think I'm going to let y'all go for right now before we continue with part 2 of the spiritual realms, because spiritual realms was so big, it has its own, part. And so that's what I'm going to continue to share with you next time is part 2 of the spiritual realms, because I just can't wait to share this with you. It's just such a, cliffhanger. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing me, holding me, seeing me, understanding me, trying to understand me if you don't fully. We're choosing it anyways. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this process and everything involved. So sending you much love on the rest of your day, y'all, and I'll see you in the next episode.